Let's see. All right. Hey guys, this is Mr. Sepulveda. Welcome on in. Um, Interestingly enough, I forgot to hit that go live button. So there you go. So, very new to the stream, but welcome in. Um, so I'm working on creating a metal superhero. I kind of named this character Metalaico. I don't. The name's kind of work in progress. I had Metalix as another one, or the Metal Samurai for another one, just because I used a samurai as my inspiration for this character. And so the way that I kind of ended up creating them in the first place, hey, how's it going? How's it going? And the reason I kind of came up with them on the first place was because I used to do a series called Superhero Randomizers, where I just kind of take a wheel, spin it, and whatever I land on is the power that I get, and I create a character off of it. And so when I ended up with a metal bender, I kind of thought about originally Toph Beifong, and then from there I was like, well, let's kind of toy around with the idea. Let's kind of make him like a samurai, so this way you can kind of manipulate the metal into any weapon that he would like, So that's kind of the premise between this. These are my references. I wanted to give him an Oni mask, so I definitely wanted to kind of push that into him. But yeah, I think for this stream, I just want to kind of have a chill stream. I just want to, kind of have some fun here. Just color, chat away, answer any questions that you might have. And I'm trying out some different things here and there, and you'll notice the way that I kind of lay out my layers on the side. I've got a little practice down here, so this is my metal ball that I was practicing with, so that I could be ready to kind of do this metal sword, this metal armor. I don't know if all the armor is gonna be kind of like that silver color, or if I was gonna have a different color. I might let you guys help me out on that. Also with the color scheme for the rest of him, because he's got a lot going on. So we're kind of looking at his legs, and whatever he's wearing, from like the neck down to his trapezius muscles, right? That's going to be like all singular color, and maybe it might be the same color that kind of appears on the clothes for his arms, where like those wrinkles are kind of coming around like those elbows, things like that. So I might need some help on your end if you guys see any like colors that could potentially work. We'll kind of mess around a little bit. So I'm going to kind of start off. I'm just going to put in a little background music, and then just kind of start talking, coloring, and trying to lay in my flats over here. So hopefully you're having a good well, I was going to say morning, but depends on where you are in the world, right? Or having a good afternoon on this Saturday. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of leave this in the back. Hopefully it's not too loud. Trying to keep the volume low, but not to the point where you can't actually hear it. So I think the metal's going to go last, but I do want to kind of pick around maybe some colors that might work for him. So on this traditional samurai, it looks like it's just kind of like a red and white scheme. He's got some green on him. But I'm actually not entirely sure where I want to go with this. I don't know if I want to pull in some purples. I don't know if I want to pull in some blues. I'm just going to kind of toy around with this because I don't actually have a scheme in my mind. Because if I'm looking at the shredder, he's just all like single toned except for his logo, right? I don't even know what the logo color would be. I could keep it red, but I'm not entirely sure. So we're just going to kind of go in here. We'll just color around. We'll kind of pick things apart, I guess, and then kind of take it from there. But let's just, I guess for the moment, just kind of stick with the colors that were on this samurai reference. So I think I'm going to start probably low. I'm going to start right around here and just kind of make my way across this. So let's see. There we go. Calibrated a little bit ago, so I'm hoping I'm not too off, but it looks like I might be a little bit off on that left corner. That's all right. So let's see. And I think with the way that I've set up a lot of my characters, or a lot of the characters that I've had in collaboration with my students. I'm going to end up, most likely, adding this character to the S-Verse Chronicle series, which is kind of like my Marvel-ish or Marvel-esque type of stories that I've got for the heroes that they create out of their body systems, which I'll get to share with my current students this year, which I'm really excited about, to kind of see what kind of characters they create, what stories they come up with, and being able to share all of that with you guys, and also trying to keep like some sort of, I don't know, like some good storyline kind of continuing with that series. But yeah, I kind of got into a conversation earlier today with my wife about kind of figuring out what my niche is, because I think over here on this channel there's a lot going on, and that's, I guess, kind of a good thing, that I'm kind of just kind of moving things in any which direction that I want them to be, because I'm not afraid to try out new things. The whole reason I even started this channel was to document my growth as an artist, so I'm actually pretty stoked about how far we've grown. We're almost up to 600 subscribers, which is kind of cool. It's pretty neat. I would love to get to 1,000. I'm gonna be honest, I never even thought I'd make it to 100, but you know, this would be a fun challenge, right? And so I figured I might stream every couple of Saturdays in a month and just kind of try something new, you know. So I'm thinking red boots kind of work out fine for this character. I don't know what you guys think. If you guys have an opinion on the colors that I'm using, let me know. Do you think they should go somewhere else? And I'm kind of getting like a candy cane / Where's Waldo vibe with the red and white, but you know what? Sometimes it can't be avoided, right? But we'll kind of see. Because again, I don't know what color I'm going to make the metal. I don't know if I want to keep it like a generic silver, or what happens if he's wearing gold? What happens if it's gold metal or gold armor that he's wearing, right? So we got to figure that one out as we go. But just gonna kind of come around here and just kind of fill in these boots, which I don't even know. I'm thinking, like, you see these like giant little bulgy pieces right here. I'm thinking those are gonna be like little pieces of armor, and I'm realizing now like just how wide this top one is. But I might fix it, might not. I might just kind of leave it for right now, and just kind of come back to it. So yeah, let's see where we are. So this little shoulder piece, I'm thinking I could play around with it and make it red. So let's kind of see what this idea looks like. And in case you're wondering, I'm using Clip Studio Paint as my software to draw, create these art pieces right here. But yeah. Fun fact, 2 years ago, that's awesome, that's awesome. I'm going to be honest, I don't know who you are when you have, when I'm looking at the name Pat, because I've never taught a Pat. But if you give me a first name, I could probably easily figure you out. Not going to lie there. But yeah. But welcome in. I'm hoping you're having a good Saturday. But yeah, if you have opinions about like some of the colors on this samurai, please let me know, because I don't mind kind of altering as I go, because I really don't know what colors I want to make them, and that's kind of why I wanted to do a live stream as well, was just to kind of get some opinions, because I feel like I might get stuck into the same color palettes often. Ah, Jackson. Okay, Jackson. Deloma's class. I got you. I remember you. All right, well, welcome on in. Welcome on in, Jackson. Good to see you, or I guess hear from you, right? Again, hopefully you're having a good Saturday. Do you have any Labor Day plans, anything crazy going on soon for you? And I guess my other question would be, how's middle? How are you enjoying that? Let's see. I kind of like that arm being red. I kind of like that there. I'm wondering if I accent it with the white, but I'm wondering what this will bring for us, or what that'll bring to this piece. Let's see. Yeah, and I like to use this lasso tool to color in. I don't know why. I think it's just so I can make sure that I got every inch of these pixels. For the most part. 'Cause I'm trying not to kind of leave gaps, if you will. We'll see it. All right, all right. So you're feeling, oh man, so you're feeling pretty sick. I'm sorry about that. I'm really sorry about that. Well, hoping you feel better soon. Let's see. I guess one of my question is, do you still have some of the same friends that you started off with? Like when we had you in elementary just not too long ago. Do you still hang out and talk to the same kids, or do you have a new group of friends? I'm always curious, because it's very rare when I see a lot of the same kids kind of still hang in the same circles. But yeah, kind of like the white and red scheme there, but it might not be the most perfect scheme on that shoulder. Let's see. I do think the Oni mask should be red though. I don't know why. I kind of have that in my mind. Like if most of his clothing is red, I feel like this could totally be red. And interestingly enough, I feel like I want a tattoo of an Oni mask or a Harafuda mask. Something. I also thought about food dogs before as a tattoo. Let's see. Maybe one day I'll design a tattoo for myself. I'm not sure. Made a couple new ones. All right, cool. Yeah, I'm always curious. Usually it's like depends on whose teams you're on, you know, how separated you guys are. So I think it's kind of cool that you still talk to a lot of the same kids, a lot of the same friends that you had. But yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Thinking the white teeth work here. Thought about a grayish set, but I got a gray background. And his teeth are kind of like a off-white, off-yellow on this one. But it's not too bad. And then, I don't know if it's plasticky or metal-y, but when I add in some of the highlights on there, I'm going to kind of figure that one out. And then I'm thinking Shredder's got like the red in his logo, and I was kind of making this almost like the foot logo, I guess, for from Shredder TMNT, because it's kind of got that if you look closely. It almost looks like a Power Ranger thing, I guess, but kind of try to hit that up there as well. All right, let's see what we're gonna do here, because I want to add in some of this green, and I'm thinking maybe we'll keep the dark green for the pants, like the actual, like one of the reference, like that actual reference up top, or I might darken it up. I'm gonna see how we feel, because we're gonna need some contrast here, because that red is so vibrant, or not super vibrant, but I think against this gray, the whole thing is like vibrant. So let's see. I think that's alright. I might darken it up. I feel like I gotta move part of that kneecap over too. Didn't realize it before. And I'll do this a lot. I'll pick apart my art so much. And I think most artists do. But I think it's because I haven't seen this art piece in like a week or a few days that I'm actually started to notice some of the mistakes. Again, like that little thing by the boot. I might fix that up. And it's actually funny, like how far this thing has come. And I say that because if I shut all of this off real quick, if you kind of look, I always start off with like my sketches. And so the way that my sketches worked was I kind of built in this body, like just a generic body. It was originally going to be just the metal ball hanging in his hands. And then that became this guy right here, where I was using that ball as a central point to kind of move some of the metal off of his body. He originally had a strap over here. I ended up losing the strap partway through. I traced in some bits, like I was fixing up some things. So I ended up fixing up the boots that I originally had. And then from here, and I guess I got to make this at 100. I didn't realize it wasn't that bright, I guess. So let me kind of back up. So this was the original. then I built this guy on top of, which was the original little thumbnail for this character. I started trying to figure out where his body was so I could make sure things were in about the right spots. From there, I kind of like put in the Oni mask, and I guess if I could, I guess I could change the color of this. I guess it wouldn't matter. Oh, wrong layer. That's why. So let's see. So if I just kind of convert this to my drawing color, you can kind of see it better. So that's the Oni mask, and then I threw hair on top, and then I added in this other piece that Shredder has on him. So I thought that would be kind of cool, and then adding those little metal spiky pieces, those spiky bits. And then I also had to fix his foot up a little bit in at the end to kind of rearrange that boot. But that's kind of where we ended up, or how I figured out where I needed this to be. But yeah, got to turn on that metal sword. Again, it doesn't really look like a metal sword. I might tweak it. I might extend it and then extend it downward as well. So I might tweak that as we go. I'm only on here for about an hour, maybe 2 hours max, because I gotta normally walk the dogs at 3 o'clock. But yeah, I'm trying to see how far I can get with this today. And hopefully he's not feeling like Christmas. If he's feeling like Christmas, because now I'm looking at the red and the green, I'm going to have to go back and change it. Unless I make the lore about this character as like a samurai saving Christmas type of thing, which I guess would be kind of funny. But we'll kind of see how this all plays out. Again, I'm not married to any of these colors, so if there's anything you think needs changing, just let me know. Be kind of cool. I'll try it out. Do just about anything on this one. Because normally I feel like I have like a color scheme I can go with. Let's see. Kind of see how this is coming along. I like the big bold outlines that I use to kind of make them pop in front, right, or pop forward, or makes them jump out. So I'm actually pretty happy with the way that came out. I think the only thing I was questioning, I'm still questioning it now, is if I should darken this line over here or not. But I guess we'll figure that out as we go. Let's see. Yeah, it's because it's kind of like Ninja Turtle-y, I think. I think just looking at him, I'm wondering if I should just change him up like this. Like, so if I made these darker. No. I knew it was going to happen eventually, so I have to use the selection tool. Let's see. And then I'm going to grow out my pixels so I can get to the edges and darken that up. So let's see. Do I like them a little bit better now? Honestly, I don't know. I don't know if that green works. Maybe I should go darker to like almost a black. Because again, I just need the contrast in here. Because it's pretty bright. Or do I go brighter? That's kind of like a Deku color for my hero. I don't know if I want that. Let's see. Go darker blue. I don't know if this blue works out better. This is like a color that I like to go to a lot. I also use it for my shadows when I work digitally. Let's see. I think the blue kind of works. Kind of works out. I don't know how I missed this, but there you go. And I think when I do the metal, I think it'll pop off a little bit because it's going to be reflective. So I guess we'll kind of check that out. So it won't be too bad, right? Let's see. Where else do I need to go? I guess skin. I guess we go skin. Do I want them to be a little bit more on the warmer side? We'll find out. So some skin tones look, depending on the colors around them, will look really muddy or too vibrant. So we're going to kind of find out if this is going to be the right color. Because my assumption is his hair is going to be black. But I don't think I need to keep it black. Let's see. Am I feeling that skin tone? Or does it look too muted? Let's find out where we want to end up. Because if he's a samurai, I'm thinking maybe a little bit more oriental, so it's probably a lot lighter. Let's see. I'll try to mess around with this color that I got. Like, I know I'm on the orangey side, but he does kind of come out a little too yellow. Let's see. It's too gray. Maybe I'll just backtrack to the original color I had. We'll mess with this. We'll see what it looks like. It's either going to have, like, really dark hair, kind of like a brown, or like a black. I thought about black, but I think it might be too like stark, a little bit too much. Let's see what we can do. So I'm also curious what his eyes are going to look like. Because I wonder if he's got like, because we had these green this green color, so I might just use it for the eyes. Might pop out really nicely. Yeah, I think the green works well with the skin tone. Hey, Sophia, welcome in. How you doing? Hope you're having a good Saturday. Let's see. I don't know, I always do like this dark rim around the eyes, and then I end up putting a shadow over that, so it's like 3 different colors over here. Doing good? That's good, that's good. Welcome on in, welcome on in. Having fun here. Working on coloring in a metal samurai superhero of sorts. Gonna use him eventually for, what am I gonna use him eventually for? The S-Verse Chronicles series. He's gonna have to come in here. Got a few characters still locked away right here to my right that still have to make their way in. I've got some stories written out, so I'm excited about that for whenever it kind of comes back. So we still got some time for that. Excited about that. And yeah, let's see. Maybe darker hair than the eyebrows. Yeah, I think this darker brown's gonna work out better. I'm trying not to zoom in and out too much, but I can't make promises. I miss you too, kiddo. The classes are doing pretty good. They're not too bad. You know, get your interesting dynamics of children. You know, you got some kids that are really sweet, some that are, you know, less than sweet, some that need a little more of a push than others, you know. But I think overall still really fun. I think you'd enjoy this. We just finished up our digestive system lab, if you remember that one, where we got to start the digestive system with like the bananas and crackers, right? And then kind of push it forward from there. So it's not too bad. I do get to see your sister, which is kind of dope. It's pretty cool. Just kind of in passing in the hallway. Let's see. I think I like a grayish blue, because I don't want it to take away from the color of his hair. Because if I go too dark, it kind of mimics. It's like the exact same colors, which is not what I want. Let's go like a darker red, maybe. We'll check that out. Yeah, I think that's not too similar, right? Yeah, you remember that lab. Good, good. Yeah, no, it's a really good one. I'm glad she's happy. That's awesome. Yeah, no, she's super dope, just like you. You guys are good kids. I don't know how I feel about this Where's Waldo color. This little stripe thing. I'm thinking I'm gonna mute him down a little bit. So let's say we go to like this color. And then maybe a kind of a muted white. Or I guess not white, it's really just, it's a warm gray. It's more of a warm gray. Let's see. This might work. I don't know. I don't know if it's too close to the skin. It might be too close to that skin color. So if I cool gray it, maybe? We'll find out. But yeah. Any plans for Labor Day? Anything crazy going on in your life? Like, how's middle? I just spoke to one of my former students from a couple of years ago on this stream. Said middle's alright. It's not the same. It's a little different, though. Depends on who you got. You know? Thinking we'll keep that same red tone in the back, and then I'll end up darkening when I add the shadow layer. But I need a color somewhere. I'm thinking this red's not too bad. So let's kind of change up the other ones. And I really should fix that other shoe. Yeah. But yeah, I just want to do a stream, just kind of chill, just color, hang out. And so far it's been pretty cool. I'll be on for about an hour, maybe 2 max. Gotta walk my dogs at about 3. So we still got some good amount of time left. And hopefully the music's not too loud. Like, I'm hoping you can hear it, right? But hopefully it's not like above my voice or whatnot. Kind of found like a whole bunch of different songs in the YouTube audio library. There you go. That's where a lot of this stuff's coming from. I did find some ones that I really liked, but just not appropriate for my kids. Have we started the superhero drawings yet? No. Oh, we are so close. Yes, we are so close to it. I'm really excited. I feel bad because their stuff probably won't. Because again, I still got a few from last year from your groups that I still gotta add in that I've not finished the stories for. So I feel like the group this year is going to have to wait a bit, and I might have to be extra strict about which ones I take and use. So we're going to find out. They're going to have to figure that one out, I guess, and be like, oh man, how come we have to wait so long? But that's just how it works, I guess. So it'd be kind of cool. Do I still have yours? I still have yours. I don't throw out the ones that I'm sure I'm going to use, if that makes sense, or if I'm curious about the ones I'm going to use. But I do think that I might attempt my series just slightly differently, only because I'm thinking maybe some of the episodes get too long. And so what I might do is just kind of do short single character episodes that still have some of the other characters in it, because I really do love the story component of it all. But we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully yours is one of the ones that gets selected. We're going to find out. Do I want a green belt? I don't think it needs to be green. Let's see. Do I want it to be closer to black? Like a... This might be good. Yeah, because you still have, what's your character's name? Dr. Cord. The spinal cord. Villain. And you know what? And it's funny, because the moment I said that I needed to do a live stream of coloring in a metal superhero, I started thinking this guy totally screams villain and nothing else, and I think it's because of my source material of the Shredder. I mean, seriously, like, that was my reference for part of his armor, and that's what I was going with, and here I am calling him a hero. But I guess it depends on how the story works. Oh my gosh. Salami, it is I. Welcome, Salami. I hope you're doing well on a Saturday. Do you have any Labor Day plans coming up? Because I think what I'm going to do is probably just kind of upload more videos and just kind of have some fun with it. I've got a few things planned out. I got a couple things planned out with other students. Like, I think October 10th, I think, is the date one releases, where I'm going to try out some chalk art. I'm not a chalk person, but, you know, it'd be fun. Okay. What up, Riles? Welcome in. There you go. And then I know I've got you, and I told you I've got a date for you. I do have it written down somewhere on my Microsoft Word. I'll have to check it out. And in fact, I think I'm going to pop it open here, but I'm going to shove it aside so you don't see all the other things coming out. Because I got like this whole like art schedule planned. I'll have to talk to your mom about this one, because you make some good dragon heads. But I have you scheduled for 11/28 for the video to release. So what might happen is we'll end up recording a couple weeks before, so like November 14th or something like that. But we'll get more in depth with that at a later date for sure. But I'm super excited about it. Super excited about it. Let's see. This is going to be the back part of this belt, which I think is just cloth. I feel like he just ripped up some cloth and just kind of put it together. I really don't know. I just wanted, and I think it's because I definitely looked at the Shredder for reference, but I wanted it to flow slightly different. I wanted it to come at a sharp point as opposed to like, kind of like a, what is it, like a curtain? Kind of like how the curtain goes. Mom's listening. Hi, Mom. Welcome to the Drawing with Mr. Spolvita channel. Hopefully you have some good Labor Day plans coming up. My goal is to hopefully stream every couple Saturdays. So we'll kind of see. I'm working on that schedule. I do have it up here, on my on my thing over here. I think, what is it? On the 16th, I was planning on designing an original character for my first Chronicles. Sophia, you'd probably remember this one, Julia Legrand. So I gotta work on her, the old lady, because I don't have a character for her. He's got a Captain America type of color scheme. I thought so. I'm starting to darken him up, which I guess is kind of like Captain America Civil War. So I think that's about right. I think that works. I think it totally works. Yeah, let's see. Let's go a little bit bluer or darker so I can do this little part. See, it's still about the same. Because I need it a little bit darker. I don't want it too dark so that I can separate that. Let's see. Because I don't know if I want this pure white. I feel like it's going to hurt the eyes if I put this little emblem that has got like the belt buckle in white. I don't know if that's too bright. Oh, no. Yeah. So Monty created, oh my gosh, lost it. Fox Girl, Tsukisune, there we go. Yeah, so she created Tsukisune, who ends up running into Julia Legrand, an old witch lady who has this desire to one day make it to Fantasia. She secretly wants to obliterate all the Sekisune and steal all of their energy and life force so that she can go ahead and reclaim her youthful beauty. That's her little motive there, which I think is hilarious. So it'll be kind of fun. I've never drawn an old person before, so we're going to have to do it. So I think it'll be kind of fun. Some extra wrinkles. Or do I make her young? I guess it would depend. Like, hey, and if she does become young, I need to have some interesting piece to the story that kind of gets her there. Because, she's a necromancer. I guess she could totally steal some youth or whatever, or raise some dead or something. I don't know yet. We're going to find out. I don't think I'm going to give him gloves. I feel like these could just be bare hands. So I'm just going to put his skin right here. Let's find out. Let's see. Let's see here. I think it looks alright. I don't know. You remember? Yeah, I think it'd be kind of cool. She also has a dragon named Zuko that kind of travels along with her. And I know I have a plan on using that dragon at some point or another and maybe giving it a cool form. But we'll kind of play around with that idea. I know if you remember the professor, she asked me something once and I was like, oh my gosh, it's like you read my mind. That's exactly what I'm planning on doing. So I think it's going to be kind of interesting to kind of see where this stuff ends up. Let's see. You know what? We might make the ends of the boots metal as well, so that I'm not kind of putting the same colors on top of each other. I'm trying to separate them as much as possible. But yeah. But I've got some good plans on introducing some of these new guys. And I realized with my new narrator, I actually don't even have a picture of him. I'm not entirely sure. So I'm going to have to add them to it. I'm going to have to add them to the mix. Yeah, Kellen. Yep, Professor. What does the dragon look like? So currently the dragon has not been drawn in any of my series. It's just a little small chibi purple dragon. It's known as the Dragon of the Night. So my thoughts are its scales probably shine like stars at night. But it's going to get a transformation at some point. And so I want to make sure that happens. And I want it to look really awesome. So we're going to kind of find out what that looks like. And if anything, maybe I'll use your video to create what he might look like as a hand puppet, and then actually draw the real thing in the S-Verse Chronicles type of story. So that might be kind of fun, utilizing both. Alright, so real quick, I'm going to fix this because it's bothering me. So I'm going to have to erase, because that's going to annoy me with the way that it looks. In all honesty, probably should come lower, but we're going to try not to spend forever on this guy. Let's see. How big is that pen? That thing's too big. Shrink it. There we go. There we go. That looks like it kind of fixes it. Trying to keep that as smooth of a line as I can. Just kind of bounce that off. There we go. Shrinking that down a little bit. There we go. Okay. I think I'm okay with that. I think I'm satisfied with the way that boot looks now. Narrator part 2. Didn't you get like attacked there? Oh yeah, so the first one did. Yeah, the first one did. So the first one is now out into the real world, right? Technically breaking the fourth wall, I guess. While the other one, his name is Tu Sha. He's got to end up doing his thing. He's kind of narrating, but I don't have a look for him. I don't know if I'm going to make him look similar to how I made Kosh V, the original narrator. And we still got to find out what that narrator is going through. Like, it still hasn't been said, you know? So it's going to be a fun one. Yes, you are. It'll be kind of cool. 500 plus subs. I'm trying to get to 600. Trying to get there to 600. We're like almost there. I think we're near it. I don't even know how many subs I've got right now, but I feel like I'm like 4 or 5 away. So that's kind of cool. I'd love to get to 1,000 one day. And we'll make it, I'm sure. If not, that's okay. It's been a good run. Let's see. Now I think I've come up to the point where I've got to decide what color is my metal going to most likely look like. This is going to be hard. Do I want some gold armor somewhere, or do I just want to keep it all silver? I think gold would kind of work well with some of the red. But then I got to consider, like, when it starts twirling in, what that's going to be. So this is going to be kind of tough. Because this metal piece, and you can kind of see it here, if I do red, or sorry, not red, if I do gold over here and I do, I don't know, silver for these, I'd have to mix the gold and the silver and maybe figure out if this is gold or if that's silver on his chest. I'm gonna let you guys decide. What do you think, gold or silver? I am so close, thanks, yeah. But silver and blue, right? Oh, I know, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I think they're all good color combos. Let's say we're going for gold just to try it out. We could always delete this thing or recolor it. Let's say the gold is just, yeah, let's mess around with gold. I feel like this thing could look gold and it would look nice. Granted, it should be, I'll have to do all the rendering on layers above it, but just for now, we'll just kind of leave it as a yellowish color. Because I think that color goes well. Like a tannish gray. Yeah, and the reason I'm saying like metal color is because he's a metal bender of sorts. So he's stealing from the arm and he's stealing the metal from his chest. But a grayish tan, maybe? Yeah, some silver because there's blue. Yeah, and the way that I make silver, and I don't know if, well, this is my silver ball that I practice with to kind of get the idea of what colors to pull. But I don't know. Let's see. We can pull up a gray in here. Like these are mostly reds and blues that I've picked out for this. Let's see. Let's try it out. So that's 2 gold, right? So let's make that a... Ooh. I'm on the wrong layer. Let's see. Because that's almost like the grayish tone. I know you said tan, but we're gonna try, we can make it silver. It's just gonna take a few layers to make it happen. For me, anyways. For another artist, who knows? Maybe they know what they're doing and they can get it in one shot. It's gonna take me a minute. Let's see. Because I'm trying, and it's hard because I'm trying not to match the... Because I did put a bluer tint on the background. So like if I make it just slightly darker, or if I make it a little bit warmer, yeah, we could probably see it pop a little bit more. So we'll try that out. Let's see. Mess around with this color. Because I'm wondering about the color. Whoops. Let's see, we'll put in these spikes over here. I'm wondering if I could make these end pieces red. I don't think that makes sense, actually. Now that I did it. What happens if I make the end pieces gold? It gives it an extra color to contrast with. Shows a little color separation. But I would need gold elsewhere. If I do gold elsewhere, I think some of the only other spots I could do could be like near the boots or on the trim over here. If I don't make it like a silver. We'll see how this works. Because I still need a color for the metal or the armor plating. So we'll kind of find out about that. Not sure how I feel about it, but it kind of looks interesting. You like it? Awesome. Okay, so we'll stick with some of the gold. We'll stick with this silverish color. It'll probably look better once I put an actual color behind him. I've got my traditional board right over here, my little frame that I normally put them into a space, but I was thinking I might end up starting to create a logo or a background for all my S1 Chronicle characters to kind of stand in front of. I don't know how I like the idea yet. Just kind of messing with it right now. So let's say he keeps gold on the bottom and silver up top. Let's see. Kind of liking the red, gold, and white, but I think I like it because Sonic the Hedgehog is close to all of that right there. So who knows? Who knows? Let's see. So let's kind of stick to this silver look. See what we get. Yeah, I did try to make backgrounds for some of them because I was trying to attempt to become better at making backgrounds, but I'm lazy, man. I don't know. Or maybe I could push more art if or more character redesigns if I didn't focus on a background. I don't know. It's just trial and error. I'm just like goofing off, messing around with it. We can kind of just see what that'll look like. Because I don't know what I would put for the background for an S1 Chronicles. It might just say S1 Chronicles. Might have a different color in the background. Might pop out some stuff, but I'm not sure. Let's see. Let's see. I don't know if this is going to be too similar. Or if I should make the armor on the front a separate color. Again, I don't have any of the shading. I haven't rendered anything. So kind of looking at it all flat right now, I'm just kind of curious. But I guess we could find out after. So let's just kind of color all of this in. And we will work the whole thing out. Oops. Let's see. Or maybe I have to line it all up. Because usually with like metal, like, I mean, I guess it depends, right? Because I put like a nice light highlight on the rim and then it kind of shades out. Let's see. Is it a good or evil character? Yeah, so it's supposed to be a superhero, quote unquote. But I think the more I look at him, and again with like my inspiration was the Shredder, it totally villain vibes. But we'll find out, I guess. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe he's the anti-hero. Maybe he's Batman. Like, I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, I think I'm going to lighten this up a bit. Let's see what we can get. So if I do this, it kind of like, well, I guess it's like more of, yeah. I think this kind of works. Let's do it like this. I don't know if it's too light. It might be too light. Alright, what happens? Let's just play around with this. What happens if this is all gold instead of silver? gonna have to play around a lot, but we're gonna find out. So, metal superhero. We'll just make them all gold real quick, just to kind of toy around with the ideas. And then I'll change out all the gold trimming to something else. So like, because they don't necessarily have to be gold on the sides. I could make them white, because I've got a bright white on the shoulder pad. Again, we're just kind of playing here, just mess around with color and just kind of seeing what we can come up with. Yeah, looks do deceive. Alright, so you know what? And you could even, I guess you could even, I could throw that into the story too, right? Everyone just thinks he's a villain and starts getting ready to like stop him, but he's one of the good guys. It might be a funny joke. Let's see. Do we want white on the bottom here too? I guess we do. I feel like down here I could have been a lot smoother with my line work. It's like kind of janky. I was probably rushing this entire thing and I didn't even realize. I'm kind of liking the gold. I'm kind of liking this gold. Let's see, let's change this up. So I'm going to change the lines of the metal, and this is why I was doing this last anyways, but if I turn all of that gold, or I can turn it into a darker gold. Let's see, let's mess around. Because if I do it like this, and I go into these lighter colors, it won't look too off when I start rendering all the shadows and the lights off of it. I don't think it'll look that bad. So I think we kind of got a color here. Oh man, okay. So I can make it like a really nice looking, very pretty, handsome type person and just kind of make him completely evil. I love that idea. I truly love that idea. Yes. We're gonna play with that idea. I'm hoping I could get one from someone from this year that can draw it out. Because I think I always get the villains, It's easier for people to come up with villains than heroes, I think. Or at least that was the experience that I had when we started off this series with the S-Verse Chronicles. So I'm actually kind of excited to kind of see what we could come up with as far as heroes entering, because I got so many villains, or too many villains like that have been provided for me. But I love villains. I don't know, their stories are a lot of fun to like write. They're a lot of fun to tell. You do just about anything you want with them. Whoops. Got to learn to color in the lines. There we go. Need a girl villain or a hero named Renaissance. Oh, I kind of like the name. I like the name. Would you design it for me? It would have to be like the other science teachers don't do what I do with the body systems as superheroes, but you should totally submit one. I think that would be awesome. I would totally do it. We need a whole backstory. We need a backstory for it. I could switch yours if you'll allow me to, but I think I've already have an idea, potential idea, because I don't want to tell you too much detail that might involve your character. kind of tweaked a few other people to kind of mess around with them a little bit. Let's see. Got to learn to stay inside the lines. There we go. Learn how to color. Let's see. Too many lines. I was trying to make too much like liquid metal, I guess. But it's like I said, I wanted to. I think I might tweak up this sword a bit, just to make it more of a sword. Because right now it's just a metal ball from the original. Right, it's kind of like all twisting around it. Or at least when I render it, it'll hopefully look like it's all twisted around itself. We'll kind of see. I might have to get rid of some of these lines to make it look a little better. And I also have to close this one off. There we go. Yeah, I feel like for some of this, I end up spending more time on the coloring phase than I do the actual piece. And then other times I feel like I'm sketching for like an hour to make sure everything looks alright, but then I end up making changes anyways, so it's like, what did I do in that hour? You want to write some story? I'll take stories. When you guys write stories, it makes it easier on me, because I can always twist and turn and just kind of rephrase a couple things to fit into the world, to make it match up. Oh yeah, okay, so now I remember, because this bottom part's supposed to be in the shadow whenever I'm done with it. So let's see, let's add some lines. It wasn't in the original plans for this, but we can do this. Could totally do it. Let's see. Ooh, let's make this a little bit thinner. Because this should form the katana a little bit. I'll erase this and smooth that one out a little bit. And I think what I could do, it's going to have to connect this somewhere. Let's connect it this way. And then I can keep it in the background. And we can kind of make it extra goopish. I don't even know if that's a word, goopish. So I don't teach ELA. I guess make her however you want. Hero, villain, I don't know. I'm usually pretty good with anything. I'll take whatever you guys give me. I like the collaborative piece of it all. Because I had some people that seemed nice and then they turned out to be villains. But I'll generally keep whatever it is that you give me. Let's see, and I think what I got to do over here, because I didn't realize I didn't do it. Just kind of put in some of these little circle things. Because I have them all like near the bottom of this, and I think I don't remember why I stopped all of it. Probably thought I was going to get to it eventually, and then I just never did. Yeah, it looks a lot better, right? It looks like it's actually forming a sword Although I think the katana piece, like the sword part, should be a lot bigger. Is it dark? No. I don't mind it in my stories because you already know, like the Ezra's Chronicles is not technically a kid-friendly thing. I mean, we had drug dealers, right? We had guns, we had shootings. I believe there's been death, if I remember correctly, and there's even been like that one goopy monster that ended up getting splattered everywhere. So I guess it's all right. That stuff don't bother me. All right, so I think he's looking good. I think just even with the flats alone, he looks pretty good. Although I can't help but think, and this might be a little too much gold on the bottom, so why not, I guess, make it white? So we can brighten him up in other places, because otherwise he's a little too dull, and I want the colors to kind of create some harmony. I think the original red I used was too vibrant before. Unless it's still, yeah, the other red's too vibrant from before. Let's see. I think that's alright. Although the red Oni mask itself doesn't seem bad, or do I have to? You know what? Maybe I should darken it up too. Maybe it's just it's too poppy, even though, although I do want, like, the attention near his face. Let's find out. If I get rid of all my bright reds, what'll that do to this character? It makes him pretty muted, I think. Do we like a more muted samurai metal superhero? That is the question on everybody's minds. Well, now. I mean, it suits him a little bit better, but I don't know. Is this guy gonna get a story? Yeah, he's gonna need one. He's totally gonna need one. Or what I've technically done with a lot of my redraws is that I normally just mention them and just kind of flash their face, and I just leave it at that. So he could end up with the same type of thing where I just kind of do that. So I'm not 100% sure. Not 100% sure. Do I want these to be whiter? That's what they originally were. They were originally white before I went off-white. I think this is the best part about just doing flats is, you know, kind of mess around as much as you want until you get to what you're looking for, and then after that is when all the real work starts, where we have to end up figuring out where the light source is, and then your bounce light, your rim light, your shadows, right? All the stuff. So I think that's going to be where all the work is. And then also, obviously, rendering out some of these things to look like what they are. So if it's metal, we got to make sure that it appears to look shiny. So we got to get to that point. You're going to draw it, Riley. Good. Yeah. So I don't know if I'm going to, again, just flash him or give him a story. He looks cool. I think it'd be funny to kind of mention that whole thing about, you know, about how looks deceive. All the good guys start attacking this guy randomly. And it's like, whoa, wait a second. One of the good guys. It might be a funny piece. Alright, let's see. I think we can safely go into shadows. What tablet do I use? I currently use a XP Pen 22R, so it's like a 22-inch tablet. It's like pretty large for the most part. Here, let's do this. You'll have to see my face here for a moment, so try not to scare you, I guess. But I don't know how large this will be, but that's my tablet. It's like a big old screen that I use this pen to draw on. But it's 22 inches. I have a 12-inch one that's smaller, compact, almost like an iPad. Almost like an iPad-sized one that does the same thing, but again, you have to like hook it up to a computer. So there is that. But that's what I use. I use that one. I love it. I got this one, oh gosh, what is it, a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago. And I love it. For me, like, drawing on a smaller tablet hurt my eyes, and I'm already blind as is. So going larger was definitely better for me. But everyone's different. I did try to draw in Procreate on an iPad while I was teaching outschool classes. And that was fun. It was interesting. It was definitely different. but I enjoy the XP Pen brand. I have no issues with them. They're an affordable tablet. I think I got mine. I had to have got mine for a few hundred. But they can get really, really expensive. Could Renaissance be a Katana Warrior or something? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I think I'm going to go into my first layer of shadows, but I've got to decide my shadow colors. So let's see. Most of what I've got are warmer tones, minus the blue areas. Let's keep them relatively cool. Let's do that. So let me get rid of these guys over here. Because I'm going to... So I keep a layer sometimes called my palette. So it's right over here. And that's where I want to keep my colors that I don't want to lose, that I'm going to end up using. So let's see. So, and one of my favorite YouTubers does this too. His name is Popcross Studios. So I use black over here because it's going to end up not affecting how bright or receptive the color is. And then we'll just kind of put in some color here. So I'm going to use this maybe. I don't know, maybe a little bit darker. We'll use that kind of a dark blue for my first layer of shadows. I'm going to go to a purple for the second one, just to kind of get a little bit of color variation. When I get to my highlights, when I make things a little bit brighter, I say, let's kind of go this way. Let's kind of go towards that green. Kind of use, usually I use like, well, actually, I change it up a lot. I would say usually, but more like a yellow or something. But let's just stick with something like this. I think this could be my color palette that I'll use. And so this thing will travel with me to various parts. And I also got to figure out where in the world this light source is coming from. Phone died. That's cool. He could be like a spy. Ooh, Villainous looks letting him get into villain groups to get information. Oh, that sounds pretty cool. Absolutely. I don't see why not. Why couldn't he be a spy? In fact, I think that's such a great idea. I'm going to have to leave it in here so I don't forget that. I love that idea. He could be a samurai, villain, spy. You can see how I abbreviate. You could totally do that. I'm gonna hide that layer, but I'll think about that one. That one sounds pretty cool. Thanks for that one, Soph. Appreciate that. But yeah, we're gonna go into our first layer of shadows, and oh yeah, this is what I was talking about. I need to figure out where my light source is coming from, right? Let's say it's coming from this side. I think this would be a good side because then I can kind of keep the lights going this way. And all that other good stuff. I'm also going to use a clipping mask over here so I can kind of keep everything in one central location. So let's see. And I think the way I'm going to do this, I'm going to do like one section at a time with everything on it, and then kind of move from there. So smart. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah. So let's see. So I've got to think about what this is going to look like. Like, is it going to be... a certain way. Thinking shadow over here. Totally do one of these guys. Think that one could get covered up. And you'll notice, like, for some reason, I don't know why I do it, but I always put the shadows where I think they're gonna go, or where I think they're gonna look the coolest. And that's kind of where I stick it. I don't know why I do it. Been doing it like that for a while for no reason, even though I technically know where they could go at this point. I just kind of have fun with this. I don't know why. Oh, you got work to do? Hey, no worries, kiddo. I totally get it. I was lesson planning this morning, and then, you know, I just stopped because I got to put everything in like a plan book, because legally I have to write down my lesson plans, but then I also have to write down a week at a glance for my kiddos, and then after that set up the Canvas page. But I kind of did it all backwards today. I kind of set up the Canvas page first. Which is not terrible. Let's see. I'll just kind of have fun with that little shadow. It doesn't make sense, but I kind of like it the way it is. I don't know. All right, cool. And we're gonna just kind of stop it here on this one leg, and then convert this to a multiply layer to kind of see what it looks like. See if I miss any spots. It's a lot easier when it's darker, I think. And that looks pretty good. I'm also gonna lighten this up to about an 80. Give or take. So I think 80 looks good, right? Because we can kind of get some more light source closer to that right side, or that upper right side, than compared to the left side. So it's not bad. And then we'll do a second layer of shadows as well. So these are where the deepest shadows are. So I'm just going to kind of keep them closer to this corner. This is going to definitely get some over here, around the knee or the kneecap. Think right about here and in here for sure. And this is gonna turn out alright. It's turning out pretty good. But yeah, my wife and I were talking about our niches, or at least for myself, like, you know, my niche is, I guess, digital art, and so I should probably do a little bit more I guess content-wise with it. I don't think she's wrong. I think I do this a lot better than I do traditional. But I still enjoy traditional. I don't think you should ever lose your ability to do it, if that makes sense. Like holding a pencil. Like, it always feels so different whenever I do digital art for so long. And I'm always like, this is such a bad feeling when I can't feel comfortable with it. You know what I mean? But yeah. Looks cool dark, yeah. So that it's called a multiply layer. So the multiply layers are intended to be dark. They kind of act like shadows. They just really darken up the color itself. And then there's other colors or other layer blending modes or effect modes that kind of alter the look of things too. But yeah, let's see. I'm gonna take over this entire leg with this, or this back part with this purple, even though it doesn't look purple anymore. All right, let's see. So that's the back leg, and this is where I kind of teeter between how much I take off. Because if it's supposed to be the deepest shadow, it should still look darker than the other guy, right? So I had 80 for the other one. I'm trying not to take off too much. I could keep this at an 80 as well, because I feel like if I go too light, like let's say a 60, it doesn't give me the same effect. So I'll bring it back down to an 80. Ah, Bill Nye Ed Puzzle, there you go. I've got one of those too. I have one set up from this week. My kids still haven't done it because we've been moving a little too slow, I think. So we just gotta pick up the pace, I think. But I like Ed Puzzle. Ed Puzzle's good. We just watched the Science in the Real World video too, so that's pretty cool. Bill Nye the Science Guy, William Nye, Billy Nye. Mine's about atoms. Oh, it's perfect. So you know how I do my body systems as superheroes. It started off as a I guess I gotta remove this layer. It started off as a atoms, like elements, like of the periodic table of elements as heroes. So that's where the idea came from. So that's actually really funny. That's awesome. Let's see. Put a little bit of light over here. We'll get a little bit of light over here. I'm going to kind of do this the same way I did my Blue Beetle Ben 10 kind of fusion from, I think it was last week's episode. Yeah. Ooh, that's so bright. I guess it makes sense. Do we screen it? I don't know. I got to figure out how I want this. So I always change this mode. I never know which one to use. I could use soft light because I don't know how hard the light is or how hard I want it to be. Let's see. Because if I pin it, it's still kind of gross looking. Let's see. Can I make it a lighter color? We'll kind of find out. So normally, I guess not normally, but I guess what I've been doing recently is just kind of taking this color, using a soft eraser to kind of lighten it up, and then kind of push back with the soft airbrush with that same color, but like really soft, like not so much, right? And then start shrinking it and concentrating it in the center. So whatever the center is for these guys, and then start making my way brighter. But I guess it also depends on what the material is. So there you go. I don't actually know what kind of material this is going to look like. And then at the end I kind of take either a blending tool, like a smudge brush. In this case, Clip Studio's got like this cool looking fingertip, like pull push thing. So I'm just going to kind of push and pull a little bit. I think these guys are too close to each other is my problem, but that's okay. Let's see. Kind of stretch them out a little bit. Rendering, the ever-learning process. Just want to make sure all my edges are covered. And then I could either leave it like that, right? Or I could go back over it with my soft eraser again. Or the other option is lower the opacity altogether. Just gonna kind of go around the edges. I'll kind of see what we like about it, what we don't like about it. And I think I don't like the whole thing, so we're gonna try this again. Haven't touched the periodic table, just protons, neutrons, and electrons. Yeah, I think more 7th grade than anything. Because at least that's the way I remember it. Let's see. What happens if I just do my blending instead of the pull and push? What can we do? Or maybe it's just the color's too bright. It doesn't go with this bluish pants color. Do you know what I mean? So maybe my brightness needs to be different because I'm too close on that spectrum. Let's see. What happens if I made it like this purple? Yeah, I don't like the purple. I don't think that was gonna work. closer to indigo, maybe? Let's find out. Does that color kind of work? I don't know if it kind of works. Because I don't want to have to do this the way that I used to do it. I kind of want to have fun with this one. I think that's kind of what I'm aiming for. So I'm not hating on it. Let's see. Oh, are we talking about at the Odell? Yeah. Her name's Miss Dellinger. Really cool lady. Her, Mr. McCarthy, and I have been, like, we created a fitness club, and so we've been, like, working out together. Really cool person. Yeah, okay, so I think I like this, so what I'm gonna do is put that on my palette over here. So this one will be my light color. Because I kind of like the way that this leg is coming out. So I'll use that. And so that's kind of like how I mess around with this stuff. But I also end up hitting up with like a light white somewhere in some places. So that's my highlight number 2. Don't have to do it, but it's what I did with my D&D monster, and I loved it. Kind of came out looking like scales when I did it for that one. And I thought it came out pretty stellar. I started to love monster art after I did that. But yeah, because look at that. That leg is pretty defined, I think. I think it's looking alright. Oh, really? Same last name? I know she's got a sibling. Could be her sibling. Yeah, never know. That's kind of cool. I might have to ask. Alright, so let's go ahead and continue this exact same process, but with the other leg. In real time, it's really time consuming. Different than just watching like a time lapse. And even then, some of the time lapses seem pretty long too. Let's see, I'll just kind of do it right here. Yeah, we're looking good, looking good. And I feel like I'm just gonna, I know I'm focusing only on the legs, but we'll just kind of come in here and do that real quick, just to kind of put in shadow. We kind of see it popping now, which I think is awesome. This is probably where my favorite part of the art is when things are starting to kind of come together the way that you want them to. That's usually my favorite part. I think this kneecap. Ah, yeah, this was the kneecap I was talking about earlier that needed to move. And I never moved it. I said I was going to. This happens a lot. Where I think I'm going to remember it, but I don't. Don't get old. Don't get old. Let's see. Let's go ahead, get my real G-pen out. Ooh, look at that knee. It's a nice knee. But I need it a little thicker. Oh, there we go. Gotta move that over. I should have probably snoozed all this stuff. Otherwise, I'm gonna get like all these emails on the side. Do not disturb. There you go. Let's see. So yeah, I think the kneecap looks better. Just kind of looking at it from far away, just to kind of make sure. Yeah, I think it's alright. I probably should have clipped all of this before I forget. Clipping masks. What would I do without you? Have we done any labs yet? I did one with hot, cold, and room temperature water food color. I love it. Okay, cool. So you're looking at diffusion. Yep, and yeah, so that's awesome. I think eventually you can do the same thing with solubility. I used to do a salt solubility lab. I also did it with like Kool-Aid and things like that. Just to kind of see just the rate at which like solutes, like the little solids, dissolve in solvents, so like the liquids, which is always fun. It's always kind of cool to like look at that sort of thing. I know I was helping out a friend of mine who works at a different middle school in the county. and they said that they don't do a lot of labs, and I was really sad. And it was for sixth grade, and you know I've taught sixth grade for like 6 years. It was really saddening. It was heartbreaking, and I was like, "Yo, let me help out." So I kind of gave them some access to a couple things that I've done. Not a whole lot, just enough to kind of get them started, because apparently they've only done like 4 labs in a year, and that's not cool for learning about science, or at least not to me. It's any good. But yeah. But as far as labs have gone, yeah, no. So we did the digestion system simulation lab. So we did that. The kids all got like their bananas and crackers and things, which we talked about earlier. And I did the digestive system yarn activity. So where they got to measure out their digestive systems or their partner's digestive systems. So that was kind of cool. Let's see what else. I don't think anything else was a real lab, but we do have, because at least for the first unit, we don't have too much going on. It's just more or less, can you learn how to take notes? Can you do this? Can you follow directions? That sort of thing. But we will be getting into like our lung models on Tuesday or Wednesday this week. So looking forward to that. We get to build, so that's kind of cool. Yeah. That lab was yuck. Oh man, no, I loved it. I love a good messy lab. I actually took it a step further by using some vinegar. So, and vinegar kind of has that odor to it. So yeah, no, I agree. But the end results are probably my favorite. Did catch a lot of student reactions to it, which is kind of funny. Always makes me laugh. Usually one of my favorite things ever. Let's see. The yarn was fun. You like the yarn? Yeah, the lung models. Yep. Oh yeah, so many of them did break. Yeah, I don't know why. I really don't. Unless it's just from like being played with too much, or it could have been the cups, or it could have been the rubber bands, or not the rubber bands, the balloons. Could have been a series of things. Or temperature change, but I do remember the one that we used that, but when we were doing air pressure, that stayed inside the bottle all year. I thought that one was kind of cool. That one kind of amazed me. Let's see, what do I want to do with this? We'll just kind of pull them like this. Yeah, and then I think I might push this a little bit and kind of do more of a rim lighting in certain areas. I think I'll do, but we'll kind of see. I didn't change this one. If I do a glow, I think it pops out a little bit more, which is nice. Just kind of keep them both glowing, but we'll kind of see. Do I have any new labs planned? Actually, in the works of trying to add in some stuff, because there's, because we do our genetics lab, like our strawberry DNA lab that I like so much. Well, we'll kind of see. I might want to change it up to different fruits, similarly to how we do the strawberries, and maybe make each group something different. Because I think that could play a nice major role in how awesome the stuff turns out. But we'll kind of see. I've got some ideas for things, but also want to make sure that, that we have enough material and stuff like that, because it's really hard to just kind of go out and just kind of pay for a lot of stuff. So I do have to keep that in mind as we kind of go through some of it. Yeah, I'm really loving this. I think he's looking really good. I'm really enjoying the way he's coming out. You missed the strawberry one? Ah, that one's a fun one. If anything, I could always give Riley the instructions or whatever, the ingredients, if you will, because that one's a really good one. That one we won't get to for a little bit since we're still in body systems, but it's not too bad. Let's see. Yeah, and I don't know how much of the music you hear in the background, but I don't know. Yeah, I really like it. Are we doing the strawberry? Yeah. You'll eventually have a strawberry lab. It's gonna come, I promise, at some point. Uh, Whenever we hit our next unit. We gotta get through the first unit first. Let's see, I don't know why do I want to add these little things? I don't know. Let's see. Sometimes I put like a random shape and just kind of stretch them in here. Just to kind of see how well that'll look. I might have to play around with it a little bit. Or maybe make this shape a little bit bigger. Alright, let's see. So we'll fill it. I'll go ahead and soft erase. Add a little bit more color with this soft airbrush. Just kind of push the color out a little bit. Usually I do this stuff at the same time so I can remember what colors I used. But hey, it's okay. I wanted to try something different. Let's see, and I think we said not to do the fingertip thing, but I feel like it stretches out the color nicely. Yeah, there we go. And then I'll go ahead and blend that sucker. I'll just kind of soft erase this side. And then we'll hit it up with that little white streak. Oh, yeah. No one failed genetics. I think it's funny. Because it's like that every year. Because every kid's just so into it. And every adult, too, is into their genetics. They all want to know some stuff about them. I've got a DNA test that I've got to take. Because, I'm adopted, so kind of want to find out a little bit more about my ancestry and stuff like that. Like find out where what my nationality really is. Am I really Puerto Rican like I've been told my whole life? We're gonna find out. I gotta actually fill it out. The boxes have been sitting here for months. I don't know why. I think just life kind of happened, so I just kind of stopped. But I definitely got to get into it. Definitely got to do it again, or not do it again, but actually do it. That's what I meant to say. Let's see. Let me go back to before I started erasing these. And then I think I'll kind of come into it with a blend. There we go. That looks a little bit nicer. Yeah, the legs are kind of coming out pretty cool, I think. I have questioned whether or not I should blend the shadows out, but just to kind of soften them up. So we can kind of mess with that a little bit. I think it looks all right. I don't think it takes away. I could always go back. Yeah, because this is where we were. Yeah, I think so too. Everyone else is so different. Then you look at the hitchhiker's thumb, the leftover right, second toe longer than the other, the earlobes attached, detached. There's like a whole bunch of cool things to kind of look at. Or I don't remember if I did it with you guys. I can't remember that test strip that you put onto your tongue, and some kids could taste it and some kids couldn't. That one's always a good one. Alright, I think that looks good on the legs. They're looking pretty good. Let's see, where should I move? I guess I can move into the boots. Ah, you didn't do that. Okay. Yeah, if anything, I should still technically have those strips, so I guess whenever we do genetics, I'll just give it to Riley to give you one. Um, but yeah, so some people can taste like a bitterness on it, and some people can't taste it at all. It's like a paper strip that has something on it, though, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, for me, I could taste it. Some kids can't taste it at all. I think it's interesting. Let's see. I guess the boots. We can do the boots. I don't even know. I don't even know if the boots are a leathery material. I know the top parts are metal, but I'm not sure. We'll kind of mess around with this. I got about 20 minutes or so left, I think. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how far I get. And if anything, maybe instead of doing the boots, maybe I'll just do the whole blue clothing that's underneath this armor. I think I'll do that. But I'm also wondering if I should add something here to indicate that it's part of the armor. To go over the trapezius muscles, like so the muscles by the neck. I'm wondering if I should do something like that, but I'm not sure. Here, so I'll move this up here. And so since we know where the light's coming from, we kind of manipulate. Let's see. I always like to do this one though. I always like to do a shadow over here. We'll give it a little bit of gap for light to get through. Don't have to do it, but I think it looks cooler like this by the neck. But I think my favorite lab by far is still Oobleck. Still my favorite lab by far. Let's see, I'm thinking because it's his backside over here. Backside of his neck area, I guess. I think I'm gonna end up doing covering up this bit over here. Yeah, that's right. Julia did get stuck. That was really good. And that's how you know it was like a good mix for the most part. I don't think we had it perfect, but I know it was pretty good. But yes, it's probably one of my favorites. But we definitely need to push for more cornstarch this year. I felt like we didn't have as much as I've had in the past. Let's see, I kind of like the shadows up here. I think it needs a shadow on this end, but I don't know how well that'll look. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. But yeah, space science was fun. We did, I remember doing the space history. And then making rockets. There's a lot of projects. A lot of like research projects, writing projects, physical. I thought they all came out pretty cool. Oh, snap. Okay, so you got a lot of reading? Yeah. And you know me, I'm not a huge reader, but I do, like if I find something that I enjoy reading, it's hard to put down. Let's see. It's all about finding the right one. But I guess it kind of depends on how you want to break down your time too. Like time management's one of the biggest things that I was told my middle schoolers, like you got to work on it. Like this year's homework stuff, if the kids just do like 10 minutes a day for their iReadies, then they're pretty much done by Friday with like the ELA requirements, you know, which is a good thing. You don't want to stay stuck with it for too long. Let's see. I think I'm gonna do this long strip. I don't know if it makes all that much sense to do, but sometimes the cool factor, or the fact that it looks good, is gonna be what I go for over the, is it like correct? Like, is it gonna be physically accurate? Just kind of stretch that way. Oops. Let go of my line. My bad. There we go. So I guess my question to you is, do you still have a lot of the same classes with some of your friends that you had last year? Because I asked a former student that I had from a couple of years ago that question, and they still talk to a lot of the same kids that they had when they were in elementary, but they've got a new group of friends now. Hey, so I know you were worried. I know you were worried about moving up. I knew you were ready for it. And it looks like it comes with some perks, so that's pretty cool, kiddo. But yeah, that's awesome. That is very awesome. But yeah, now it's like, oh, we finally have a new class, social studies. Now we got to actually learn about history. Yeah. I had a few kids that were like, I don't know if I'm ready for that. It's one more class. That's pretty cool. Alright, let's see. What are we going to do here? I think I'm just going to make this a giant shape. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Let's see. Yeah, I'm starting to like this idea of just adding some shapes in here. Kind of soft erase that. We'll come back here for this airbrush. Hit up the centers. Make it a little bit lighter. Then we'll do that fingertip thing. Just to kind of zigzag it around. And we'll go ahead and hit the blend just to soften it all up. So you got some kids in your PE class. Okay. Alright, so you're with a whole bunch of different kids, but I'm sure the experience is pretty cool. Let me see, let me come back a little bit on this one. Because I realize I've made some gaps in this, and I don't want to keep the gaps. Alright, cool. And then I'll come back to re-blend over it. Because I want to keep them with like this dark vibe. Ah, come back. And maybe just one more even soft erase. Hit it up with a little white here. When do you give it to me? Whenever you want. You see me in the hallway all the time, Riles. So anytime you want. Started riding the bus. Okay. Yeah. So that's kind of cool. I remember riding the bus when I was not in middle school, but I want to say is when I started high school before I moved closer to the high school. So I was living like a few miles away at one point, and then we always had to walk it until we got the bus, and then at some point I ended up moving like a block away. So I thought that was kind of cool. All right, let's see. I think from far away he's looking really good. It's not too bad. I might do what I did before and just kind of hit up the, not the soft erase, but a blend on those shadows near the top. So let's see, I'll kind of go really soft over here and then do the same thing with those darker shadows, because then it opens it up a little bit, and I think it looks really good when you do it this way. Just gonna soften this part up. Yeah, it is looking awesome. Yeah, so Riles again, yeah. So anytime you see me, just hand it to me. I see you in the hallway. 7th graders. Oh, cool. I'm glad you got some friends that are in 7th grade. It's a good group. It's a good group of kids that I remember having. Alright, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit save on this before I forget and lose my progress. Because that's happened before. But I think he's looking good. I'm really excited. I think this Metalaico, Metal Samurai, whatever his name is going to be, I think he's looking pretty good. And I'm really excited about it. I think I'm going to have to stop the stream here so I can walk the dogs. They got like about 10 minutes or so. So I'm going to end up walking the dogs. And then I don't know, maybe I'll have to stream again to finish this, or I'll have to finish them up in a future episode. Not entirely sure. Yep, looks like some of this stuff kind of came across here, so I just want to kind of erase that. I knew something caught my eye a little bit. But yeah, so I think I'll end up finishing him up either in another stream, or if I'll end up finishing him up during a video for the S-Verse Chronicles series. So I'll kind of do one of those. So I think I'll kind of stop it here. But I had a lot of fun with you guys. Thanks for stopping by. Honestly, it was a lot of fun. Because without you guys, I'm talking to myself, and you know, that would be kind of awkward, kind of weird. But yeah, no, for sure. No, yeah, I'll definitely stream again. I know I've planned out for almost every other Saturday, with the exception of the 30th at this point, like 30th of September, just because that's the day we get to like paint our parking spaces, and so I really want to keep my parking space and paint it, so I think that'll be kind of fun. But anyways, guys, thanks again for stopping by. Love you all. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Have a great long weekend with Labor Day, and hopefully I'll see you guys in a future stream, okay? You guys take care of yourselves. You guys have a good one. Bye.